Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Today's article has to do with Putin, Russia, missile strikes, and Kiev. It's something that is a new development, according to the Russians and the Ukrainians. And both countries state that Russia hit Kiev with missiles, and this hasn't been done in about a month. So this article comes from Associated Press by John Lanchester from June 5th, 2022. And this is the title: Russia hits Kiev with missiles. Putin warns West on arms. And Russia took aim at Western military supplies for Ukraine's government with early Sunday airstrikes in Kiev that it said destroyed tanks donated from abroad, a claim denied by a Ukrainian official. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned that any Western deliveries of long-range rocket systems to Ukraine would prompt Moscow to hit, and I'm quoting, objects that we haven't yet struck, end quote. I don't, I didn't hear anything about Russian hitting the command posts. Remember when the Russians said, guys, if you hit targets in Russia, we will hit command posts in Kiev or wherever they might be. I haven't heard about that. I wonder why. Did that not occur, or it occurred but it was kept under the rug? I'm still waiting for that kind of information, or just because the Ukrainians did their little three hanky-panky attacks on Russian soils with their helicopters and I think it was 2 fighter jets and a missile. They ceased doing that. I'm not certain. It says here that a cryptic threat of a military escalation from the Russian leader didn't specify what the new targets might be, but it comes days after the United States announced plans to deliver 700 billion of security assistance for Ukraine. Now listen to this sentence, paragraph that is here. The cryptic threat of a military escalation. So Putin escalates, and then you say, why would he escalate? He just woke up with a hard on and he said, oh, I'm going to escalate today, man. I'm the man. Or he just said, I'm escalating because you guys do something. And then we find later a little bit hidden in the paragraph or in the sentence, and it says, didn't specify the targets, but it comes days after the United States announced plans to deliver 700 billion of security assistance. So that's the escalation, and these guys meet the escalation. But you see how these things work? He made it, this guy, Lanchester, Johnny Be Good, he made it like, oh, maybe it's because of that. We don't know. I mean, that's a legitimate delivery of arms and military equipment to kill your soldiers. That's not an escalation. That's actually a de-escalation. You know, up is down, down is up. Minister of Truth and peace is war, war is peace, and so on. So those weapons that Americans will send, Americans, the government, not me. I don't send anything, just so you know. Those weapons include 4 precision-guided medium-range rocket systems. That's an escalation. Helicopters, Javelin and anti-tank weapon systems, radars, tactical vehicles, and more. So now we know, if we were not born yesterday or 3 minutes ago, we kind of understand what is the Russians are doing. And this is an escalation, always, not always, but from what I read and how I saw this Ukraine war escalate or even start, it was always, not always, but it was a result of some certain actions or lack of. And the lack of, I'm talking about the Minsk agreements, lack of any actions or implementation in the Ukrainian side. And I'm going to say that until the cows come back home from wherever they are, the neighbor's yard. Okay, that's the reality. If that, and not only that, it was a 2014 overthrow of a legitimate, democratically elected government. Corrupted? Which one is not? Point that to me. What government is not corrupted? All right, military analysts say, Russia is hoping to overrun Ukraine's the embattlement eastern industrial Donbas region, where Russians-backed separatists have fought the Ukrainian government since 2014. What did they fight at? because those guys overthrew the government with the help of outside logistics and support, which you know exactly who those are. It's not like they have to. Who are those? Are those the Chinese? Are they the Zimbabweans? No, they are the guys over the Atlantic, among and across the channel. You know that channel. So, and nevertheless, before any U.S. weapons that might turn to tide arrived. The Pentagon said last week it would take at least 3 weeks to get the precision U.S. weapons onto the battlefield. So Ukraine General Staff said Russian forces fired 5 X-22 cruise missiles from Caspian Sea towards Kiev, and one was destroyed by air defenses. 4 other missiles hit, and I'm quoting, infrastructure facilities, but Ukraine said there was no casualties. Nuclear plant operator, blah, 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 said the cruise missiles buzzed the plant 350 kilometers to the south, and they are all scared that an accident can occur. Okay, good. It says here in a posting on a Telegram app, the Russian defense minister said high precision, long range air launch missiles were used. It said the strikes on the outskirts, the strikes on the outskirts of Kiev destroyed T-72 tanks supplied by Eastern European countries and other armored vehicles located in buildings of a train car repair business. But the head of the Ukraine's railway system rejected the claim that tanks were inside. He's not going to say, yeah, man, good job. Yeah, good shot, man, you hit them all. They're going to say, no, man, you're talking about just I don't know, a bar. All right. It says here the Russian sailors once again lied. He wrote on Telegram, their goal is to hit the economy and the civil population. They want to block our ability to export Ukrainian products. This is what the Ukrainians are saying. Yeah, obviously. Now, if Kiev gets long-range rockets, he added, this is Vladimir Putin, Moscow will draw appropriate conclusions and use our means of destruction, which we have plenty of, in order to strike at those objects that we haven't yet struck. This is what Putin said. And also he says, all the fuss around additional deliveries of weapons, in my opinion, has only one goal, Putin said, to drag out the armed conflict as much as possible. He insisted that supplies were unlikely to change the military situation much for Ukraine's government, which he said was merely making up for losses of similar rockets that they already had. Oh, well. So this is what it is. We find that there's some Spanish, the Spain steps in. They say that Spain plans to supply anti-aircraft missiles up to 40 Leopard 2A4 battle tanks to Ukraine. So up to 40 battle tanks and anti-aircraft missiles. Spain stepped in. I haven't heard from Spain doing much so far, but probably, you know, it's one by one. You hear, I think it's they do like this. They start with, let's say, Poland. You give your things. Poland gives its things. Okay, next they go to Slovakia. Slovakia give your 300s. Okay, they give them. Okay, Germany give your tanks. Okay, gives 15 tanks. Okay, go to Switzerland. So Switzerland say, I'm not going to give them ammunition as of now, but I'm going to put sanctions. Okay, let's go Italy. What are you going to do Italy? Italy sends this and this and this. Okay, what are you going to do France? Some this, some this. And now it's Spain's turn. They were not all together. It seemed like it all one after another. Even Norway gave some tanks and ammunition and whatever they give. So they're all, but it's like one by one. So when this supplies goes, the next one steps in. When that goes, the next supplier comes in, the next country. Well, and they are not involved in escalating the conflict at all. No, it's all right. So the Russians will hit other targets if these guys supplied long-range missiles for whatever to Ukraine. If the Americans do that, I wonder what those will be. We'll see. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.